All right. So yesterday, I believe we have discussed our ICA tool, which is available on your management server, right? And I believe we have discussed the HTTPS inspection, how you can create the certificate, how you can export the certificate, how you can, you know, install your certificate on your browser, and how you can do the HTTPS inspection. What is the main purpose of doing that, and so on, right? And if I talk about the ICA portal, there we mentioned like what sort of applications we can see there, and all the certificates which are related to your checkpoint environment can be seen over there. So if in any case you lost your certificate, you can log into that tool and you can export the certificate and you can distribute to inside your organization. Okay, and also you can reset the SIG and by deleting the certificate sometime if the option is available, although that method is not 100% confirmed, but yes, you can do it. You can try, in fact. So today we'll be discussing some acceleration features. Let me share my screen and just confirm if you guys can see my screen. Okay.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So do you remember that when we discussed HA, high availability, we enabled cluster Excel? Remember or not?
Yes.
Remember, right? So we'll be starting from there only. So that cluster Excel is also a method of acceleration. What it is, it's also a method of acceleration, and we'll be discussing from there itself. So let's start. I'm keeping everyone on mute. All right. So, okay, let me just. See, if we talk about acceleration features, there are certain features available in your checkpoint, which is trademark, or you can say patented technology by checkpoint. Because if I talk about the companies, you have multiple companies of firewall, right? For example, Palo Alto, you do have a checkpoint, you have ForcePoint, you have Cisco, and so many companies are there. But if I compare the R&D budget, the checkpoint have the highest R&D budget in comparison to any other companies. They do a lot of research. They do a lot of they provide a lot of technologies. Basically, for example, stateful inspection they provided in 90s, right? This acceleration feature they have provided, multiple features are there, whereas stateful inspection is being taken by all other vendors, including the Cisco as well as your Palo Alto, right? And this acceleration feature is patented by checkpoint. And what are these features? These are mainly three features. First feature is called cluster Excel. What is it? Cluster Excel. Second one is secure Excel. And third one is core Excel. So these are three features which is called security enhancement feature, or you can see acceleration feature. And these three are very, very, very important if you talk about enterprise network. Okay, why these are important? Because the feature they all provide in the enterprise network, those features are very, very, very much required. For an example, if I talk about future, like organization in the past, what they used to do, they used to procure a device. Let's suppose this is an organization called abc.org. This is one organization located in Delhi. Okay, and we are talking about 2008. In 2008, this organization has purchased one device box, which was very much a new and capable device when it was procured. Let's say device model number is 2200. It was a new device, they have procured it and they have created their network. This is their LAN, this is their WAN. But over the time, their organization's structure will be growing, right? In this case, they will be needing, like, this device will becoming a crucial device, right? Now, what they thought, okay, because this is our crucial device, we cannot stay with a single device. We need to have the redundancy. So they will be procuring one more device and they will be connecting a high availability. Right? Now, time has passed and people realizes that if we're using high availability, that to active passive, one of my hardware is not utilized even for years. So they what they introduces, they introduce active. Also, there was a uh, version of a high availability, or you can say clustering, called load sharing. In the load sharing, the multicast way, right? So where these both devices used to work as active. Now these two devices are lagging in the capacity, right? So what they can do, they are having only one option, which is called replace these firewalls with the newer version, with the bigger hardware. Do they have any other option? No. They need to, if they want better performance, they need to upgrade the hardware. Right? Then this option of cluster Excel came into the picture. What is this cluster Excel? You can add up to 8 gateway. Well, this is very typical scenario. You will see that organization is having 8 gateway in one cluster, but the facility says in the cluster Excel that you can use up to 8 gateways in a cluster. You can combine them. And remember active configuration. There, what you use multicast, right? On the basis of multicast, these all devices you can use, but you need to be in even numbers. For example, if you cannot add 3 devices in the cluster. You should always prefer to adding the even number 4, 6, or maybe 8, or maybe 2. If you'll try to add even number like 5 or maybe 7, this can be done, but probability are you will be facing some issues while the configuration as well as while the maintenance. So this is the cluster Excel. Now, what is secure Excel and core Excel? See, I'm just giving overview just now. Okay, we'll be discussing these things in very detail. So core Excel, if I talk about, core Excel stands for, sorry, secure Excel. Secure Excel stands for security acceleration, where your security features or security inspection will be accelerated. Your packet processing will be more intensive, basically. All right. And if I talk about the core Excel, this core Excel means whatever cores you are having in the firewall, all the cores will be utilized in the processing. So your whatever processing happening at the core level, there will be load sharing between the cores. If you have 4 cores, basically all the processes will be load shared between all the 4 cores. By default, only 1 core will be available. All right. Now, let's discuss secure Excel. See, in secure Excel, you had what? You had VRR. You have basically when you were doing your clustering, you had 2 options basically. One was your high availability. One was your load sharing. Right, and this cluster Excel, apart from this cluster Excel, there is one also a legacy protocol which is called VRRP. Okay, and what is this VRRP? VRRP stands for Virtual Routing Redundancy Protocol, used in L3 redundancy. Okay, sorry, this is cluster Excel. Sorry, I got confused. This is your cluster Excel. All right. So this VRRP, have you ever heard in the routing? Also, you had VRRP and HSRP. HSRP, right? So this HSRP has been, the features of HSRP has been used in VRRP in checkpoint. Okay, and specifically if you go with the documentation of checkpoint, this VRRP is being called M.C VRRP. Okay, what is M.C? That is called monitor circuit, VRRP. Okay, but in checkpoint we use this VRRP when will be requiring that typical scenario where we need more than one virtual IP in our clustering, which is very, very, very rare, guys. Okay, your all the tasks can be done on the basis of single virtual IP. So why you need multiple virtual IP? Because virtual IP is not associated with a real port. Okay, so it cannot go down basically. So you will not be needing multiple virtual IP for one inside or one outside. Okay. All right. So let's discuss the features of cluster Excel. First of all, see, when you do your redundancy, what was the purpose for that redundancy? That you can prevent the data loss, right? So cluster Excel will ensure that there will not be any data loss in case of data failure. Okay, if your firewall goes down, there will not be any data loss because the failover will be occurring. Okay, second thing, this cluster Excel can be configured only in distributed deployment. If you have standalone deployment, you won't be able to perform this cluster Excel. Okay. Similarly, we have discussed you can add up to 8 gateway. Remember, while doing the clustering, we used to call, like add the gateway from the existing gateways, right? There in that box, you can add up to 8 gateways. Okay, and this can be managed by your smart console, similar. And this cluster Excel basically used a unique virtual IP and virtual MAC for the clustering, right? Then if we talk about the syncing, basically, this is our LAN, this is our WAN, right? So all the like all the sessions output will be synced, right? By default, if I talk about by default syncing, your layer 3, layer 2, layer 4 information by default it will be synced, and also VPN DB also will be synced. But if I talk about HTTP and HTTPS sessions, these sessions will not be synced between the gateways, right? Apart from this VPN DB, health status also, health stats. Okay. And one more most important question, which protocol is being used by a firewall to configure this cluster? What is the protocol name? So the protocol is called checkpoint cluster control. Very important question, guys. I have seen people asking this question: what was the protocol through which the cluster was established? So the protocol which is used is the checkpoint cluster control protocol, or you can say CCP protocol. Okay, and this CCP protocol will be using UDP 8116 port number. So you need to remember this particular question, like what is the protocol and what is the port number, guys. Okay, and for this syncing, No rule is required basically. All right. Now let's discuss about sync. What happens? Let's suppose this is my primary, this is your secondary, right? So if let's suppose the data is coming and passing through the primary firewall, and your connection table is being established at the primary, that connection table will be sent by your HA link. Let me just draw one single HA link for now. Okay, this is your HA link. So all the sessions which is being created over here, that information will be sent by this HA link, right? What if this HA link goes down? In that case, by default, the firewall will use first monitoring link to do the syncing. Remember, while enabling the cluster and by configuring the cluster, what we used to do? We used to define the network 192.168.1.1 cluster used to ask what you want to do with this network. We used to define only do the monitoring. So let's suppose this is my internal. This internal side will be the first monitoring and the outside one will be second monitoring. So this sync will be happening like this. If in case of your HL link goes down. For the mercy cases, let's suppose this link also goes down. In that case, your sync will be happening by secondary monitoring link. This link. There will be a device switch, right? So this thing will be happening like this. If in case this one also fails, somebody may ask, okay, what will happen if this one also fails? For those people who talks like that, all the three links will be failing. Checkpoint recommends to have at least 2 links for HA. If you can afford, and bundle them. They say bundle them. So if this one goes down, this one will take over. If both goes down, this one take over the inside one, and if the inside one goes down, your secondary monitoring link will take over. And if all the 4 links are down, that means your whole environment is down, believe me or not. But because there cannot be a situation where 4 links are down and your environment is up. I cannot believe that scenario. Either your firewall is down, either your environment is down. Right? Now you understood how they will be syncing the configuration, right? Session information and everything. Now, what is the method of syncing? See, basically there is 2 methods. One is called delta sync. One is called full sync. Okay, before going to delta sync and full sync, do you remember we do have 2 options in the smart console? One is called verify the policy, right? Second one is called install the policy, right? What is the difference between verify the policy and install the policy? Hmm? Just give me just one moment. Huh? Sorry, guys. Okay, so there is two options in the smart console. One is called verify the policy and another one is called install the policy. Then when you do the verify, it verifies all the policies, right? And when you do the install, it installs all the policy, right? But if I talk about earlier, like before R80, before R8020, what used to be there? Let's suppose you have 1,000 policy and you have created two more policy, right? The moment you'll click the verify, this all 1,002 policies will be verified first, and then all this 1,002 policies used to be pushed to the gateway, right? So this was a scenario before this R8020. If I talk about R77.30, this was the major flow basically. Now we are in R81. So this particular flow was removed in R8020 only for the verification process. Now, if you create two extra rules, so only these two extra rules will be verified. And this verification is called incremental. What is called incremental. But if you talk about the policy installation, this is still all the 1,002 policy will be pushed to the gateway. This all policy getting pushed on the gateway is called full sharing, full sharing. Okay. So if I talk about delta sync means incremental. What happened here? My pen is lagging. Okay. Delta sync means your incremental sync, and full sync means all the information, all the info your gateway is having, this will be synced to the peer. So if I talk about when your session information will be synced, your policy or config will be synced, that will be delta sync. Always remember, guys, delta sync. All right, means it will be incremental sync. But if I talk about if your firewall is rebooted, in that case you will be getting full sync. If I talk about your smart dashboard is sending the policy on the on your firewall, it is doing full transfer. It's not doing delta transfer. If I talk about other firewalls, let's suppose Palo Alto, they do the delta transfer. And if you ask me about one of the flow regarding the checkpoint, this is the one flow I'll mention to you. Okay. So this the syncing will be happening through two methods. One is called delta sync, one is called full sync. If they are communicating first time, they will be doing full sync. If one of the gateway rebooted, they will be doing the full sync. If the cluster is being broken and they initiated the cluster again, they will be full sync. But if everything is going normally, there will be only one sync, that is called your delta sync, means incremental sync. Right? Okay. Now, whatever data whatever data will be sent over the sync link. Now sync link, the data is being transferred by the sync link. So which protocol will be used? CCP, right? And this CCP protocol is use encryption method. Now, all the messages which are being exchanged between the gateways, that will be encrypted basically. Okay. Now, when the CCP will send the data, it will send the data always through one secure channel. Okay. And that secure channel is called, like, that secure channel will be built on TCP 256. Okay. And on, because of this TCP 256 port number, your all the data will be delivered to your peer gateway successfully. And who will be sending this data? This CCP. And on which port number CCP works? 8116. Okay. And this particular secure channel will be built and handled by your FWD daemon. Okay. So a most important question when you go for L2 plus or level 3 engineer, the question will be asked that how your primary firewall transfer the data to the secondary firewall. Your answer will be through CCP protocol. How this CCP protocol will be sending the data on a secure channel. What is this secure channel? This secure channel is built by your CCP on port 256, and this secure channel handled and maintained by your FWD daemon. What is FWD daemon? Firewall daemon. Okay. And what remaining? Let me just verify all the things. Okay. Now, one more scenario. Just try to understand, guys, whatever I'm saying, because in CC, like if I talk about CCSA, CCSA is 60% lab and 40% theory, because in CCSA you understand the feature set of your firewall, of your checkpoint product. But if I talk about CCSE, the CCSE will be 60% theory and 40% lab, because in this you understand the working of the product, how your features which you understand in this in CCSA, how these features will be working. Okay, so we have what? This active firewall, this passive firewall. Okay, so by default, what you, let's suppose this is your HA link. So your active firewall will always be sending a sync, that to delta sync, right? But what about this active scenario? Let's suppose I have this scenario where this one is active, also my other firewall is also active. These both the firewalls will be sending this delta sync to each other. All right. Now, now, I think that to create cluster Excel, what sort of prerequisites are? I have already told you, right? That operating system should be same, port numbers should be same, hot fixes should be same, right? Licenses should be same, deployment should be distributed, right? Links should be same, and also time zone also be same. Sometime interviewer may ask to you, I am creating cluster Excel with the firewalls. One device is sitting in the DR and one device sitting in the DC. Can I make it? Yes, of course. Why cannot you make it? Okay, my DR is located in Russia and my DC is located in Hamburg. Can I do this? Yes, why not? You cannot do this or do this. But after making this statement, you need to make sure that you can indeed make the cluster Excel, but either one of your device should follow the time zone of other device. If you want to create cluster Excel, either the Russian device should follow the Hamburg time zone, or maybe Hamburg device should follow the Russian time zone. Then only you will be able to create the cluster Excel. Now, if I talk about the failover condition, in what all cases your failover will be occurring. If any monitoring interface goes down, any monitoring interface goes down, right? Why? This is your HA link, high availability link. This is your LAN. This is your WAN, right? So generally what we do, we make these as the sync link and we make them as the monitoring link, right? If let's suppose this is active, this is passive. And let's suppose this particular communication goes down. In that case, what should be there? The failover should be happening because what? Why? Because this link has been down. So this next hop device, this firewall will say, I lost the connectivity with my previous device, or I lost the connectivity with my next device. So my friend, please take the control of the active device and send the gracious ARP. Right? Second, this is 1 second. If any hardware hardware fails. See, guys, let me tell you one thing. In production, you will see most of the time your hardwares will be failing because of the temperature. And in the areas where temperature are generally high, there you'll be getting this errors that your device fan is getting failed. Why? Because temperature is very high over there in the area, and your fan is not able to maintain the temperature of the device because air condition of the device is failed, or maybe a power cut or whatsoever. So in the case of that fan failure, your device will be failing, and the moment the device will be failing, or you can say the device, utilization or temperature goes down, it will make down itself and it will make the secondary one as the active so that all the traffic can be forwarded. Okay. And this all things will be happening like this failover and everything like I'm getting down or whatever, it will be done through heartbeat. Ah, guys, this is heartbeat. Okay, we use a port called we use the protocol called CCP and it's on 8116, right? And for this heartbeat, the by default time is 5 seconds. In each and every 5 seconds, these devices will be polling each other. Okay. So this was all your cluster Excel. Configuration we have already discussed in your high availability class. Now these all the corners I have touched because this is bit important. There will be a lot of questions up from the cluster Excel whenever you go for your interview. Okay. Now let's jump in to your secure Excel. Now, what is secure Excel? Okay. Before proceeding to secure Excel, have you remember we discussed about your connection table? When this connection table will be matched? When in your checkpoint packet flow, after your SAM database, anti-spoofing, session lookup, uh, after the session lookup, policy lookup, when the policy will be checked, if the policy will be there for allow the communication, then only your connection table will be established, right? Now, when we enable secure Excel, remember guys, this will be replacing this connection table. Okay, there will be a secure Excel tables. Means instead of this one table, your multiple tables will be like generated by secure Excel. Okay, and a security acceleration will be happening. Now, this secure Excel can be performed by either the software means by the Gaia, or we can have a dedicated hardware for that. Hardware means that separate RAM, separate CPU, and separate hard drive. So by both the way, you will be able to achieve this operation. And I have seen that whenever this secure Excel is being enabled only through the software Gaia, your device will be getting slower day by day. So now what happens basically in the secure Excel? See, if you guys remember, we used to have 3 sections over here, right? One was kernel table or kernel mode, then OS and IP, and then user mode. I'll club these two, OS and IP stack and user mode. I'll name it as the firewall mode, right? So now what used to happen? Let's suppose this is firewall mode. This is your kernel mode. Let's suppose. So what used to be there? Connection used to be coming from here and used to hit the kernel mode, and after the kernel mode it used to go to your firewall mode, and then from firewall mode it used to come to your kernel mode again, and then it used to forwarded by the firewall. This is your typical packet flow of your checkpoint firewall, where your slow path has been introduced, right? Now if I'll be enabling the cluster secure Excel, this packet flow will be changed. Now this packet will be coming from outside and it will be hitting the kernel mode, and at the kernel mode you'll be having your secure Excel tables, and by verifying everything at the secure Excel table, this will be forwarded here. This is an accelerated path. This is one accelerated path. All right, but there is not only one acceleration path. So basically if I talk about the path, how many type of path we have three type of path basically. One is called what? Slow path, where your packets will be forwarded to your policy and NAT and everything, right? That is what? The slow path. Then you have a medium path. What is this medium path? Medium path means your all the operation and checks has been performed at the kernel level, but there is only one or more, at least one or two task has been remaining, which will be done by your user mode. So in that case, your traffic will be forwarding like this. This is your firewall. This is your what? Kernel mode. Here you have OS IP and user mode, right? So in this case, this packet used to come here and the kernel mode, and for smaller period of time, it used to go to your user mode like this. Some of the packets will need to filter by your user mode. That is called medium path. Whereas in the slow path, all the packets which are going through your user mode, that will be called, it's following the slow path. Right now, the third one is, and the important one is, called accelerated path. Accelerated path, where your packet will be coming and it will be getting forwarded from here itself. All right. So let's suppose a new packet is coming to your firewall. So that new packet, see, this is also, you can say, a disadvantage of security Excel, or you can say secure Excel, or you can say limitation of secure Excel. First packet of any session will be handled by your slow path. They do not have any other option instead of following the slow path. Plus, your mobile access packets or remote access VPN packet will not be accelerated by your secure access. All right. So these two are the limitations of your secure access. Also, this is a star mark. If you are using secure Excel in your environment and you have modified some of the parameters, that means some of the parameters, and you rebooted your gateway. So this secure Excel change cannot survive the reboot. All right. Now, can you see the traffic flow here? All traffic is going till all the bifurcation of the firewall, all the blades or all the sections of the firewall, whereas accelerated packets is getting out from the accelerated devices only. And you can also take the reference of this particular image. Now, what will be the packet flow if you will be having your secure Excel enabled? So the packet will be coming to interface. This is layman packet, guys. Always remember, layman packet. This is not the documented packet. Documented packet flow. If you need the documented packet flow, you need to remember that second class where we discuss the packet flow of checkpoint. Right? This is the smaller version where I have focused only on your secure Excel. So the moment the packet will be coming to your interface, it will be going to where? To your secure Excel connection table. Where it will be going? It will be going to your secure Excel connection table. Now, there a decision or a question will be asked whether do we have any connection table connection entry in the table? The answer could be either yes or either no. Let's suppose the answer is yes, then accelerated path will be chosen and the packet will be forwarded directly to your interface. That is outside interface. All right. And if we talk about if let's suppose there is no connection inside the connection table, then there will be first template or first table or first first sort of table of this acceleration path, secure Excel, that is called accept template. Do I have any entry in the accept template? Either yes, either no. If yes, that means establish a new secure Excel connection and one entry will be maintained over here and then it will be passed by next step. Content inspection needed on this particular packet which is came to this established new secure connection path. If action like a new content inspection required, then forward to the medium path or send it directly to your interface, outside interface. If nothing, no content inspection is required. All right. Then the medium path will be coming into the picture, and in the medium path, your content inspection will be happening. And after the content inspection, you can see this line which is going towards your outside interface. All right. Then after this accept template, let's suppose you do not have any entry in the accept template, then your second table is called drop template. Do you have any entry in the drop template? Yes, drop this packet. The action will be taken immediately over here. If no, then in the like if there is no entry in the drop template, that means it's a new packet and your slow path will be engaged and your firewall policy, netting, everything will be checked. Cool. Let me just open the lab. Admin. Let me. Okay, this is also started. All right, so let us these devices get turned on till the time. Let's move further and let's discuss what is the difference between what is the difference between your connection table and your connection table and your this secure Excel table, right? So see, connection table is a single repository for all the connections which are getting passed by your firewall. Cool. It's a single table or single repository, whereas your secure connection table will be having multiple repository, which is first is accept templates, second one is the drop template, and the third one is the net template. All right. So if I talk about connection like this secure Excel table, this is equivalent to 1/4 of connection table. Means this secure Excel table will be will be taking lesser amount in your kernel in comparison to connection table. And that's the reason by default, so like most of the time by default, this feature is enabled on your firewall. This drop template is not being used after R8020 most of the time. So by default, it is disabled. And it's also not recommended for you to enable this drop template until unless you do not have very specific need to enable it. Now, what is this accept template, drop template, and NAT table? Accept template. So what happens? Your connection is coming packet and it's hitting the firewall. And let me draw a bigger diagram. This is your LAN, this is your WAN. Okay, this is my user PC. So this user is coming, he want to access a server which is on the internet, right? Client and server. So this user will be coming, and if you remember the packet which will be coming to your firewall, what sort of information it used to have? Source IP 192.168.1.5, destination 8.8.8.8, right? And then source port, let's suppose 3001, and destination port 80, let's suppose, and your data. This packet will be hitting where? At your firewall. Now, the moment this packet will be going through all the slow path, because this is a SYN packet, right? So whenever the SYN packet will be coming, it will be following your slow path. In the slow path, your policy will be matched. And the moment your policy will be matched, and one entry will be created where? In your connection table, right? And the moment the connection table will be having one entry, the accept table also will be having one entry. It will be like IP 192.168.1.5, source port or source IP is this one, source port will become star over here. Means there could be any source port. Destination IP, this will be a bigger column, and one by one, all the destination IPs will be maintained over here in this your accept table. Let's suppose it reaches 8.8.8.8, then it reached the facebook.com that was having the IP 1.1.1.1, then it reaches the amazon.com and it's having IP 2.2.2.3. So these all the IPs will be maintained at this particular destination address level. All right, then destination ports, similarly, on which destination ports it's getting passed. So if in any case means if this part, see, connection table will be having the entry for 3600 hours to 8400 hours, right? But if in any case this connection has been flushed, you can still get the entry from this accept table. Means you do not need to go through the slow path. Your slow path is totally bypassed for all the traffic where this particular PC can be reached. So this is how you are increasing the security process of this firewall so that the packet processing can be more faster or accelerated basically. All the checks will be happening here and it will be forwarded further. Similarly, if we talk about the drop template, whatever traffic will be dropped by your firewall, it used to be maintained at the drop table, this drop template. But now, see, but now, because all the traffic by default is dropped on the firewall, so sometimes this drop template creates some issue in the normal functioning of the firewall. That's the reason Checkpoint has removed this particular drop template section. Not removed, this will be by default disabled. Now, if you talk about net template is also the same. Once there will be any sort of netting happen, that netting information will be maintained in this net template, so that whenever the next traffic will be coming for that from that source, it will be bypassed on the basis of net template, instead of sending the packet to the user mode there, so that slow path can be performed. All right. So this was your accept template, drop template, and the net template. All right. So let us go to your lab. Before that, let me just give you unmute option. You can ask your doubts if you have any. I can see some of the questions also. Okay, you guys can unmute yourself. And questions.
So my question is that this accept template is created for each source IP.
Yes.
Okay, rather than creating one single entry for source, destination, all these things, it will create complete table for each source with the multiple destination. Correct?
And this source and destination will be modified on the basis of the traffic will be coming. Let's suppose if there is a traffic, right, from 192.168.1.0/24, and the traffic is allowed on 8.8.8.8. So there will be one column for this particular 0.24, where these all IPs will be mentioned, where those destinations are allowed for this particular subnet. And it will be very fast, guys. So, and this is also a resource intensive process. So if you are not having a proper device who can handle this particular secure Excel load, this is not recommended to use it. Anything else? Okay, silence.
Yeah, sorry, no, I have a question. I'm not sure what I understood by that statement of yours when you were saying that if the traffic is failing from the primary to the standby, the HTTP and HTTPS traffic is not going to be stateful failover.
It's not stateful failover. If I was talking about the sync, basically.
Okay.
These are my active and these are my passive. All the L2, L3, L4 information will be sending by default from primary to secondary, but your HTTP and HTTPS traffic information will not be shared.
Will not be shared. So let's say if the failover happens, then all the HTTP and HTTPS sessions from the primary one, right, they will need to be reinitiated when the failover between the checkpoint happens. Or does stateful or does stateful failover happen for HTTP and HTTPS traffic as well in checkpoint?
See, this, okay. Remember one thing, guys. Have you heard about dynamic websites? Nowadays, your all websites are being created dynamically. What do you mean by dynamic template in the website creation? Means you will not be using one single session for one information. You will be having multiple sessions. So by establishing the HTTPS connection, let's suppose you have established the connection on flipkart.com. Just an example, okay? Flipkart.com. Flipkart.com. The moment you'll be clicking on the refrigerator section, you will be landed to another session. The moment you'll be clicking on in the refrigerator section, you'll be clicking on the LG products, you'll be redirected to another one. So nowadays, the sessions of HTTP and HTTPS are very small. This gives a flexibility and the reliability too. So by mentioning that my firewalls will not be syncing with the HTTPS running sessions does not mean they will not be replicating the layer 3 information. This flipkart.com will be having one IP address, right? That information my secondary firewall will be having, right? So there might be one lag, but it will not be like your secondary firewall has reset the connection. No. So let's suppose this page is visible. So after displaying this page, your session establishment has been finished. The moment, let's suppose this page is loaded. Okay, so your session establishment is finished. If in between this failover will happen, your L3 information will be having my secondary firewall also. So the moment you'll be clicking on this refrigerator session, you will be landed over on the another session, and this session will be established by my secondary firewall. Whereas if let's suppose this session is getting established in the establishment zone and by failover happens, in that case, you will be getting a lag, a smaller one, because that session is not established, right?
So corresponding to this, Cisco firewall command, which is show con table or show con connections, right? Is there any corresponding command for checkpoint as well to see the connections or see the connection tables?
Yes, you do have in secure Excel. You have that connections, FW Excel connections. You can see that connections.
No, I'm saying other than this acceleration feature, like let's say we have not enabled acceleration feature and we still want to see the users connected, the user sessions connected.
See, user connections you will not be able to see in your firewall. You do not have. You have. See, that is UI feature as per the you are talking about Cisco FTD. This feature is available in Cisco FTD.
No. I'm saying without FTD as well. If you run the command show con.
See,
right,
first of all, do not one moment. See, do not compare it with the ASC. If you are doing the comparison, at least do it with the FTD. At least.
No. I want to know if there is any corresponding command as well.
No. It's not there. No. You can find the connections on the basis of connection ID. You need to go in the connection table for that. But you cannot get the user information in that. And see, if you'll be doing all the things by your CLI only, why you need then GUI? Why these companies are working very hard day and night to create the GUI? Have you ever seen the GUI of your Palo Alto firewall? You can do all the things. You just name it. You will be able to do it through the GUI. So there is certain things which, like, I'm not in a favor of GUI. There are certain things which you should do through the GUI. There are certain things which you should do through the CLI. You cannot find any user information in your connection. All right. Okay. Let's move further. Let me just open the lab. Okay, questions I have. Can you please explain the accept and drop template? I have explained, right? This accept and drop template. What information we have in secure Excel connection table? I have done the, I think you guys asked this question before I, explained these things. So do not be in a hurry. Just wait for some time. I'll cover each and everything. Okay. Let's go to this smart console. I need to enable this also because both the firewalls are in cluster. Okay. Take your time. I'll log into this PC. Okay. After this, I'll open putty. I'll take my firewall 192.168.1.1 admin 123 cplic print. Okay, we do have the license right now. Okay, so let me just increase the size, change setting, appearance, change 14, apply. I hope this is visible to everyone now, right? So the first thing through which you can check your secure Excel, that is FWACCEL FW stat. Okay, but before entering this command, you have to go to your expert mode. Where? Expert mode. Now we need to set the password for expert mode. Set expert password. Let me do the same password, admin123 admin123 expert admin123. Okay, I am in the expert mode, right? Now I can run the command FWACC Excel. If I'll do tab here, you can see multiple options over here. So if you want to see the connections, you can use this connection option. If you want to see feature, you can do the feature option. If you want to on it, you can on it, you can start it. Okay, so let's take start. Can you see what it says? Status is enabled, and enabled on which interfaces? Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1, and Ethernet 2. Features are acceleration, cryptography, crypto tunnel, and everything. All these features are supported by your secure Excel. All right. If you go here, accept template is enabled. Drop template is disabled by default. Net template is enabled. So your netting information, your accept template information, these two information will be saved in your accept template and the net template, whereas your drop template is disabled. So no drop traffic will be monitored over here. All right. Now, if you want to disable this feature, so what you can do, FW Excel and then off. The secure Excel device is disabled. Now, if you run the same command, FWXL stat, it will say that it's disabled. But your accept template and net template will be enabled because these tables will be there, but no entry will be created. Sometime the interviewer will ask that I'm not getting the entry in my accept template. Okay, then you need to mention that maybe your secure Excel is disabled. If not, you need to disable it and enable it. Okay, then you have, let me just on means it's enabled. Stat, now we have this feature enabled. Okay, now if you want, you can run fwaxl var. You'll be able to see what sort of version of this secure Excel is being used in your firewall. Can you see firewall version is R81 and the build is this one. Acceleration device performance pack is enabled. Acceleration version is 2.1. Firewall API version is 3.0 and that was registered on this particular date. Accelerator API version is the same one, which is this one. All right. Sometime your tech person may ask, if you raise any case regarding the secure Excel, your tech person may ask, okay, what is the version of your accelerator, or what is the secure Excel version you guys are using in your environment. In that time, you need to check this fwxl space var, through which you'll be able to get the version. Okay, then you have another command which you can see. It is fwxl. Sorry. Connections. Right now, I do not have any connection. Why? Because there is no traffic running through my firewall. In your production, see, this command will not impact anything on your production. So if you are having your production running or in your lab, what you can do, you can initiate a connection for a remote device or remote a server. You can run this command. You'll be able to see certain connections over there with the connection ID. And what you can do, you can check and specify through which rule that connection is getting passed, and you can check if that rule is taking too much storage on your accept table. Okay, and then you are having the last but not the least command, that is called fwxl. Sorry. fwxl help. So these all things you can run in your fwxl with your fwxl command. You can run off, you can do on, you can do the load balance, right? Get the set AC load balancing -h for uses info means this particular command will be load balancing your traffic on your gateways. Var stats. Okay, if you want, you can run fw stats, not stat. If you run the stat, means the status of your secure Excel. When you do stats, it will be giving you the statistics. Okay, here you'll be getting accelerated quality of service path, enabled out packet, dequeued out packet, Encode out packet, decode out bytes. These sort of information you will be getting over here. Then firewall path, GTP and journal. These sort of information you have sometimes. See, can you see GTP F2F packets? This number shows that how many packets has been sent to your user mode when your kernel mode has sent the packet for the L7 inspection. Okay, that information will be showed here. How many packets have done TCP violations? You will be seen here. Can you see F packet means how many packets are there for the user mode? Can you see the number increased over here? F2F bytes. Can you see the total bytes over here? Right. Then it in general, see here also Excel packets. How many packets has been for Excel? How many spoof packets has been received? Right. How many signaling packets has been received? Right. So these tunnel created, like how many tunnels has been created basically with your firewall. In the general, you'll be getting TCP established connection. How many connection is there for the TCP? There is no connection running. That's why it's showing 0. How much memory used? This much of memory has been used. Okay. How many TCP handshake connections are there? How many TCP connection are closed? So these all are information you can refer from this particular stats. And in production, it gives you a better picture, guys, when you'll be having some slowness or something on your firewall. Okay. Now, if you go again, help, you'll be seeing certain more options like templates, identities, revoked IPs. Okay. Now, what is revoked IPs? For an example, you are suspecting that your secure Excel is basically creating some problem for you. So what you can do, you can revoke that IP from the security Excel, and that packet will be forwarded, or maybe from that source, the whatever packet will be coming, that will be forwarded towards your flow path, and the normal packet flow will be followed. Okay. If you run here DOS, now you can see you have certain options in case of DOS attack. Okay, deny, config. So you can read the description of these particular options basically here. Okay, you can run this tab -t. Okay, and you can name the table name, but you need to identify what is the table name. ls-la. Okay, these are your table names. All right, now instead of this help in the last, it's mentioned you can mention this -h through, also you'll be getting to the help. So see, sir, all the options are not very much important for you, but yes, you can go through with this particular, options, which will be helpful for you. But the most important options I have given you, how you can check the certain things in your secure Excel. All right. Okay. So now you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question if you do have any sort of question or any sort of doubt. Anyone?
Yeah. In the acceleration table, I can see some interfaces are there. What is that interface? Why it is configured there? Because normally we need the inbound and outbound interface. I can see it is 0 also in the table. What is the purpose of that interface inside the acceleration part?
See, by default, acceleration will be enabled for all the tables, for all the interface, sorry, not tables. Let me show you. By default, it will be enabled for all the interfaces, right? And see, checkpoint does not know that you will be using this Ethernet 0 for your management purposes, right? You can use this particular interface for your LAN purposes also. In our topology here, I'm using one single PC over here, right? And that is connected with ETH 0. What I can do, I can connect a switch over here and I can create a LAN basically. So see, checkpoint believes that you can do anything with your firewall. It's not recommended. If you want to take the access of your firewall, then Ethernet 0 can be Ethernet 0 should be configured with your LAN side, and your PC should be connected in the same LAN where Ethernet 0 is connected. You cannot take the access of this firewall from this particular PC. Moreover, after apart from this management perspective, you can take the use of this 0 for your LAN also.
Okay, fine. Okay. And one more question. Normally, in this, the state table itself, if the firewall rule not there is no rule, then the packet will drop. Why in the acceleration also we have the drop template? What is the use?
It was there in earlier actually. See, by default, if you see here, I'm not sure have you noticed or not. Can you see this drop template is disabled? It was the feature of earlier version when we used to have R77.30. So the question you asked is the reason for this disablement. What is the reason? By default, we are dropping all the sessions which are coming on the firewall, and there is no rule for it, right? We are dropping it on the cleanup rule.
Yeah,
Then
right.
can you imagine we are dropping millions of packets in an enterprise network, and this drop template is creating all the entries in it. Over the time, this drop template used to become very huge. Although this was for that if similar traffic will come into the picture, it will not go for the policy matching. It will be dropped by default from the drop template. That was the intention of creating this drop template. All right. For an example, if I'll give you one example, let's suppose this is my firewall. Okay. This is my LAN and this is my WAN. So the traffic, when it will be reaching to this firewall, all your packet flow will be followed, right? Your SAN database, anti-spoofing, session lookup, policy lookup. In the policy, if you have 1000 policy, all the 1000 policy will be checked. And in the last policy, there is a cleanup rule, right? So this traffic will be dropped inside the cleanup rule. So to save this process that it will check the SAM database, anti-spoofing, then a session, and then it will come policy, they have created this drop template. And the moment this cleanup rule will be dropping this particular packet, they used to create one entry in the drop template. And next time when the same source packet used to come, they used to deny it from the drop template itself. But the issue was this drop template used to become very used, which was very hard to maintain. So by default, they have done what? They have disabled it, and they have made the firewall to go through the policy at least.
Okay, fine, got it. Yeah.
Okay. And this was also a drop acceleration. It was drop acceleration. So there used to be a joke basically in the industry. If the packet is allowed, it will be thrown with the speed of 100. But if the packet is not allowed, it will be thrown with the speed of 500. This was a silly joke people used to make in the industry when we talk about checkpoint security acceleration. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And one more thing is related to the core Excel. Is there anything relating to the CPU for the core Excel?
Core Excel, we have not studied it. I'll cover it in next class because I need at least 20 minutes for that. 20 more than 20 minutes for that.
Okay.
Half an hour, you can say.
One question. How we enabled here secure Excel? Did we do anything with the cluster Excel? Because we have completed the HA and load balancing.
See, cluster Excel we have already seen over there, right? Let me show you.
So nothing to be enabled again there, right?
No. If you go to CP config from here, can you see disable cluster Excel membership for this gateway? From here, we have enabled the cluster Excel, right? If you want, I can disable it from here by pressing the 6, and this cluster Excel will be disabled from this particular gateway.
That is just cluster, right? That is just active passive active membership.
Array, this see, because this cluster membership is enabled, that's why it's showing cluster. If I'll disable this, it will be showing as the cluster Excel.
Okay, if I want to use the active passive or this cluster in the checkpoint, I will be always using with the cluster Excel only, not normal. Is that the case?
Yes. Enable cluster Excel in CP config images. I'm not able to see that image where I can find enable option. So if you will be disabling this, your cluster Excel will be enabled. See, let me show you this.
That option is different. If you see that, go to that CLI CP config. Yeah, here if you see that point number 8, the series number 8, what is that then? That is cluster Excel actually, right?
Bridge active and standby. Let me show you. I'm not sure why it's. Remember, we used to have our gateways over here, right? In this, these gateways are removed. One moment. The gateways are removed. I'm not sure what has happened. Go here, CPHA. Start. Can you see what we are using? Active.
Yeah, that's
right?
something that.
So one moment. Let me complete. When you go to your cluster membership, where in your smart console, there in the cluster, you will be having two options. One option is VRRP. One option is cluster Excel. And the third option will be active. and we have enabled this active. That's why you are getting this option over here, this one, option number 8. So what we have done, we have enabled this active membership while it's asking me to do the active passive membership. Okay, I hope your question is answered now. If let me do a refresh. Anyone having their topology up and running right now? Or what you can do, Govardhan, right?
Yes.
Yes, what you can do here, you'll be getting the cluster option, right? Just right click on this and just go to the properties. For an example, this page will be opening, right? Just go to the properties. There you will getting this option cluster method, and you need to select this cluster Excel over there, and then just click OK and deploy the policy. Your doubt will be over.
Okay, I will see that.
Yeah.